Good morning. Checking my phone there. I'm Alana Youssefian. I'm happy to be a part of Ars Lyrica's Concert and Conversations, episode 4. We're talking Bach this morning. I am going to be exploring the Sarabanda, or Saraband, from his D minor Partita No. 2. So this collection of solo works, it's obviously the ultimate for solo violin playing, and it's made up of 3 partitas and 3 sonatas. So the sonatas have regular movement structure, andante, largo, allegro, those types of movements, and the partitas have their sonatas da camera, whereas the sonatas are sonatas de chiesa, which means the da camera sonatas have dance movements. They're basically a dance suite. So when I approach this type of Bach, I like to think about that dance structure. And this morning with how the schedule is going, this is still very early for me, so I picked the slow dance, obviously. And it's very beautiful, and actually the Sarabanda is actually quite an athletic dance, and how I like to think of it, I was taught it, I won't do it for you because I'm really out of shape. The second beat is a lift. So it's a triple meter, and you go 1 lift on the 2, and it gives the dance this really nice breadth, and you have plenty of space to let the harmonies shine. And actually I found that working on something as complex as Bach, it helps alleviate some of that technical demand or that you put on yourself as an instrumentalist and a perfectionist like I am. And he was an organist, so there are notes everywhere, you're crossing all the strings, and so thinking about that is really what helps me approach this piece and make it my own in that way. And tempi especially are always a point of contention between musicians and listeners everywhere, and especially if you think about the dance at the heart of it, even though these were obviously never danced by anyone, just keeping that flow in mind helps inform it, and it makes it different every time. I like doing stuff differently every time just because it's more fun and freeing. And so something, on a morning like this when I'm, my coffee hasn't quite kicked in yet, it's going to be a little slower and there's going to be a little more time. Or, if there's a day where I'm feeling very strong and ready, it's going to be a little more athletic, because actually part of the Saraband dance, when you're lifted up on beat 2, that's when it was a chance for the men to show off back in court. And so that's when, they would be lifted on this foot, and this foot would be doing all these, they're called beats. They'd be doing all these fancy things while they were lifted to show their athleticism, which is just how I like to think of it. And this movement, this partita in particular, I think is one of the most beautiful. It has the magnanimous chaconne in it, and just so much life and energy. And I think I'll play a little bit and maybe we'll talk about it when I'm done. Oh, new E string. Meow. meditating. And another topic I want to bring up is ornamentation in Bach. It's another point of contention, and how I think of it, because there are plenty of arguments how Bach wrote so ornamentally that he was very particular and he knew what he wanted, and then there were, he appreciated, composers like Vivaldi and all those great Italians where ornamentation is just par for the course. But especially when thinking about a dance movement, when you're doing the dance, you're repeating, most dances are in binary, tertiary form, and you're repeating the music, but the steps are different every time, so it gives the notes a different meaning you don't need to add more, you can just do it differently the next time. And if it's a not real choreographed dance like this, you can choreograph it yourself. And so when I go back, I think I want to do that part more forcefully, because that could be a stronger step, and this part maybe I'll maybe that can be I go back instead of moving forward. And you can just it really frees you up to do something more creative and be a little more creative with the bow instead of with the left hand, because your left hand is already working so hard. And part of what I love about early music is that you have so much more power in your right hand and so much more to think about, because the bow is structured to have that more nuance to it, that little taper at the tip where you can still put a little pressure, but it gives a little more wispy sound that's really beautiful, and a little more contact at the frog, whereas you can still get that beauty with a modern bow, but it's just different, and there's more to play around with, I think. And that's especially when you're working with the gut strings and how they respond to the bow as well. And so that's, the first layer of the onion when approaching a piece like this for me is just getting the overall flow of it and thinking, big picture, and then just as the layers of the onion get smaller, the focus gets smaller, and then thinking about, how do I want to choreograph it in my head? How do I want to choreograph it in my body? Because, thinking about the dance, and I saw that Ars Lyrica is having a little dance party this weekend, or I forget when, but you're going to learn all about Bach and his time and what it was like to live in his time, so this will follow with that. All the dance masters were violinists, so you already have that, built into your body as a violinist, and why not utilize it? So I think that's all I got for this guy right now. But I'm trying to read the comments, but my phone is sideways, so I'm just give me 1 second. Oh, hi guys. Good morning. Yes, so thank you for joining me live. Good morning, live with Ars Lyrica. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. I would love to answer your questions if you have them. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably go drink more coffee and maybe work on the jig. Build up my energy to that. And actually, in other exciting news, no chin rest. Yes, for Baroque violin, they didn't have a chin rest, they didn't have a shoulder rest, and before I got into HP, it was very uncomfortable to have all of that gear on the instrument, and this just really frees you up. And it goes back to that dance element, when you're dancing, your hands are basically how you hold a violin, and it gives you a lot more full body involvement instead of just arms and shoulders, and it makes it, actually the violin speaks from here, which is very interesting, and not having that much clamping on the seams helps not dampen the sound, and it just gives that extra resonance that we've come to associate with early music and gut strings, that warm resonance. And I'm hoping you can hear that in my boomy apartment. Sounds great to me, but yes. Are there any more questions I can answer? I'm really happy to be doing this, by the way. I miss live connection so much, so this is really great. And you guys should follow Ars Lyrica for more of this. They're doing a lot of these virtual series and virtual connections. Yes. Okay, and just some big news for me because I'm here. My first CD was released today, and so if you just follow me on Instagram or go to my website, you can listen to it. It's some French music, more dancey influenced music, which is really fun. And in the meantime, I'm gonna practice more Bach. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.